Live from Asmara, this is ERi-TV English News broadcast for Tuesday evening, May 26. The time is exactly 10:30 p.m. Good evening to you, and let's begin with the top stories. Message of congratulations. Efforts being made to enhance public transportation service. Global peacekeeping deployments in sharp decline, according to reports. And China and Syria signed 23 bilateral agreements. Thank you for joining us. Proceeding with our reports. Leaders of the Republic of South Sudan and Libya, as well as chairperson of the African Union Commission, have sent messages of congratulations to people and government of Eritrea on the occasion of 35th Independence Day anniversary. In the message, President Salva Kiir Mayardit of the Republic of South Sudan, President Dr. Mohammed Al-Menfi, Chairman of the President Council of Libya, and Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, conveyed their best wishes for good health to President Isaias Afwerki, as well as peace and prosperity to the Eritrean people. They also expressed their readiness to enhance friendship and mutual cooperation with Eritrea. Mr. Muhammad Ali Yusuf said that the important occasion reflects the resilience, determination, and aspiration of the Eritrean people for sovereignty, peace, and national development. He also reaffirmed the African Union's commitment to working closely with Eritrea in advancing the shared goals of peace, regional stability, integration, and sustainable development across the continent. President Salva Kiir Mayardit, on his part, said that the day marks a significant milestone in Eritrea's history as it embodies the sacrifice and resilience of Eritrean people. These pillars of sacrifice and resilience, he said, were the foundation of the country's pursuit of sovereignty and self-determination. Mr. Tesfasilase Brhane, Minister of Transportation and Communication, said that over the past 35 years of independence, encouraging activities have been carried out to develop public transportation service based on ensuring social justice. Minister Tesfasilase went on to say that the number of buses, which was 267 before independence, has increased to over 1,900, while transportation service to and from cities, semi-urban centers, and villages have significantly expanded, noting that 525 big and small buses at a cost of over 626 million NAFA have been introduced into public transportation system. Minister Tesfasilase said that transport routes, which numbered 26 before independence, have increased to 342. Reiterating that expansion and renovation of asphalt and dirt roads has contributed to the development of transportation service and fair pricing, Minister Tesfasilase said that efforts are being exerted to address the existing temporary transportation problems and further expand the service. Regarding taxi transportations, Minister Tesfasilase said that the number of taxi, which was not more than 200, has now increased to 1,719, in that 385 million NAFA has been invested to ensure urban public transportation services. He also indicated that there are over 15,100 trucks transporting dry and liquid commodities, of which 2,912 are organized in association, while 12,316 are privately owned. An official ceremony in connection with the 35th Independence Day anniversary was organized in Washington, D.C., the U.S., at Eritrea's Cultural Center on 24th May under the theme, Our Resilience, Our Guarantee. The event, in which about 3,000 people took part, was highlighted by programs presented by students of Adal School of Civics and Language and the Bahlina Cultural Group, as well as fashion show reflecting Eritrea's 9 ethnic groups. Mr. Burhane Gebrehiyot, charged d'affaires at the Eritrean Embassy, underlined that Eritrea's independence is the gift of martyrs realized through steadfast perseverance, relentless commitment, as well as unyielding spirit and heroism. He also called for practical efforts, commitment, and sacrifice for Eritrea's continuity as a country and for its people to live proudly in peace and harmony. At the event, which featured cultural and artistic presentations by veteran and young artists, awards were presented to winners of various sport competitions. The Eritrean embassy also hosted a reception on 24th May, in which 120 ambassadors, diplomats, officials from the State Department, and Friends of Eritrea took part. Nationals residing in Austria, South Sudan, the US, and Canada have colorfully celebrated the 35th Independence Day anniversary under the theme Our Resilience, Our Guarantee. At the celebratory event in Juba, Republic of South Sudan, in which a number of nationals and invited guests took part, Mr. Tsagay Mahari, Eritrea's consul, expressed the importance of coordinating capacity and knowledge in the implementation of national development programs, as well as strengthening the resilience, unity, and perseverance demonstrated in foiling external hostilities in the past. The event was highlighted by a musical performance by a student musical troupe from the Eritrean community in Uganda, as well as sports competitions. Similarly, nationals in the South Sudanese cities of Awail, Rank, and Kalot celebrated the 35th Independence Day anniversary, featuring various programs. The Eritrean community in Vienna, Austria also celebrated 35th Independence Day anniversary and on 23rd May. At the event, in which a number of nationals and Friends of Eritrea took part, Mr. Oqbay Abadi, chairman of the Eritrean community, said that the Independence Day anniversary is unique as it is being celebrated at a time when Eritrea is concentrating on national development, thwarting all sorts of external hostilities. He also congratulated the Eritrean people and its defense forces. Nationals in the U.S. cities of Auckland and Philadelphia also enthusiastically celebrated their 35th Independence Day anniversary. Similarly, nationals in Edmonton, Canada celebrated 35th Independence Day anniversary with various programs depicting their attachment to their homeland, as well as transferring history and societal values to the young generation. We're moving on from domestic matters to global events. Stay tuned. And now globally, troops numbers have hit their lowest level in at least 25 years, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Global peacekeeping operations have declined sharply amid geopolitical divisions and funding pressures, increasing the risk of further conflicts, according to a report by Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. UN-managed missions have been particularly affected by the funding crisis, with several major donors failing to pay their contribution on time or in full, the report said. In July of 2025, UN peacekeeping operation faced a $2 billion shortfall, more than 35% of their total 2024-2025 budget, forcing deep personnel cuts. A total of 78,633 international personnel were deployed in peacekeeping operation as of December 2025. This is the lowest figure recorded since at least 2000, down 49% from 2016 levels, said the report. Deployment also fell by 17% year-on-year, making the steepest annual decline of the past decade. The warning comes as the UN grapples with a broader financial crisis. Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned that if member states neglect to pay their mandatory contributions and the UN fails to overhaul its financial rules, the organization is at risk of imminent financial collapse. The largest contributor, the US, has sharply reduced funding for several UN programs amidst President Donald Trump's America First policy shift. Trump has repeatedly criticized the body as ineffective. China and Serbia signed 23 bilateral agreements in Beijing on May 25, 2026, covering economics, technology, education, and infrastructure. The primary cooperation document signed by Chinese President Xi Jinping and Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić included a joint statement to continuously build a Serbia-China community with a shared future in a new era, a declaration focused on the joint advancement of 4 Chinese-backed global initiatives focused on global development, global security, global civilization, and global governance, a memorandum of understanding promoting cooperation within the framework of global security initiative, a medium-term action plan on joint belt and road cooperation for 2026-2028, a memorandum of understanding focused on strategic cooperation in technological development and artificial intelligence, an educational cooperation environment protection program for 2026-2030. We're about to end our news broadcast, but before we say goodnight, here's a final look at the top stories. Messages of congratulations. Effort being made to enhance public transportation service. Global peacekeeping deployment in sharp decline. And China and Serbia signed 23 bilateral agreements. That's all with the news for the session. On behalf of the entire news crew, thank you for watching. I am Salim Bahane, wishing you a great night.